with anything, change is constant, and change is constantly happening. I should say happening, and I think with anything, once you get over that initial shock, you can kind of move forward.
I know your role as a leader on this team has steadily increased as you've gone through your career. Have you noticed anybody here in this ball club maybe stepping up, kind of adding their voice to the room that's a little bit different?
Yeah, Daryl Peterson definitely has stepped up, has started to be a little bit more vocal. Alex Smith was always been an older guy in the room, but he's starting to be a lot more vocal as well. And then one thing I like is in the linebacker room, we started the year with a lot of inexperience, and so there was no hierarchy because it was like, oh, everyone's like we're all the same. And I think going through a season like we've become closer. We had 4 guys who never played start at least 2 games. Have double digits in tackles throughout the room. And so now it's like we're all on the same page. We understand like what we need to do to bring the most out of each other. Like we can hold each other accountable now. We become closer as a room. And so just even looking at my room, like that allows leadership to sprout and to appear because we've had that experience and now everyone's kind of on the same page. Like what do we need to do for next year? So that's been exciting. I'm not really sure offensively, but that's what I'd say defensively.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah,
Well, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
thanks for your time, guys.
Appreciate you.
Moema, it's gonna look a little different when Coach Fickell kind of has his first full season. What have you learned from him, or about what he's like as a football coach during these last 3 weeks during bowl prep?
Very consistent messaging. I'll say that. He's been very like, hey guys, like we're going to Arizona for one reason, like to win the game. Very consistent, I'd say. Demanding but not demeaning. You can tell he's a player's coach, has the heart for the players. But you can tell he's got that edge to him. And so I'm interested to really find out more. It's only 3 weeks, you're not going to see everything.
Yeah.
But interested and excited to get to know him as a coach and as a head coach and see where we can take the team.
And for those on the outside, this could just seem like another bowl game. Is there a ton of motivation going into this one, and what are some of the factors going into motivation if there is?
Yeah, I hit the guys yesterday before practice, like, hey, however we play in this bowl game, like that's all that's going to be on our mind from January till we don't play a game until next September, so 7 months. So, like, make sure whatever you do, just do it in a way that you can be proud and you can be like, all right, no matter the outcome, like this, I put it on the line and I'm proud of the performance I had. And that's all you can ask for.
So you think this kind of a win could potentially set the tone for a turnaround next year, you think?
Yeah, and then I think a win 100% would, but also would, like, you want to ride off into the sunset, okay?
Yeah.
Happily ever after. You don't want to end on a bad note. Especially, we have coaches who gave everything for this program. You want to send them off on a good note. Coach Leonard's calling his last game here, and you want to send them off on a good note, things like that.
I'm curious what that's like. I'm sure I know a lot of the defensive guys are sure you are too, close with Coach Leonard and many of the other defensive coaches. Just what's that like knowing it's going to be his last game?
It's kind of looming, like it's there, but you really just want to focus on the game. And in the locker room after the game, that's when the emotions will hit, for sure. After, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things that still hasn't hit you yet, and like I said, after the game in the locker room, it'll definitely hit.
And you mentioned the youth in the inside linebacker room. It's you and a whole bunch of other guys trying to get into that experience. Where have you seen kind of your game grow and the rest of the guys in the room grow?
Biggest thing in my growth has been my football IQ. Like, just understanding that in any given defense, in any given play, like, everyone has a job, and understanding that you don't make plays by trying to do everything. You make plays by trying to do your job, or by doing your job and then encouraging everyone else to do their job really well. And simplification of the game has also been a big thing. Yeah, I think athletically I was always able to do what I had to do, but just I didn't know mentally where I needed to be or what I had to do, just because of I started playing football so late in the game, freshman year. So that's been definitely my biggest growth this year. I'm excited to continue that next year.
And I'm just curious what the vibe is in the locker room. Is there a sense of, even after you guys kind of had a season you didn't necessarily want, finishing 6-6, is there a sense of positivity still that kind of going to the bowl game in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day you realize we're a really good team. We have a lot of talent on our team, and what it's going to take is not just talent, not just talk, but execution. And I think a lot of people realize that we might have come in this year maybe expecting, because we were Wisconsin, that we're going to just beat certain people because, oh, we're Wisconsin, they're this. And then realizing going into this offseason, like, no, every win has to be earned. And we're not just going to earn it because we're wearing the W. I think that was a tough lesson to learn, and I think we're better because we learned it.
I guess kind of going off that, those losses to Illinois and Minnesota, those are teams Wisconsin has historically beaten. Was that especially difficult to kind of swallow, knowing that you guys have had success against those programs in the past, or does every loss kind of suck?
I think that's almost a toxic mindset, because you're right. Just because we've had success in the past doesn't mean like that. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think the lesson we learned this year is that historic success doesn't mean anything. Like, unless it's the exact same team from the previous year wearing the exact same jerseys, which it never is. Like, every year you have to earn it. I think that, at least for me, that was the biggest lesson to learn, like, especially being from Illinois and having a deep hatred for Champaign and everything about that school. Just realizing that, we're not just going to steamroll them because we're Wisconsin. That was, really, really, really tough to swallow.
Appreciate you, Mo.
You got any pregame